So if you have your playlist and you want to play music and you have that ready, then you can put that on now. Okay, and we're going to start just by lying down on the ground with your feet flat on the floor, arms out beside you, and just allowing your breath to slow down. There's nothing else you need to do, but allow your breath to slow right down. And just as you breathe there, really start to feel the space at the back of your heart be supported by the ground. So although we'll be focusing on the heart chakra and opening up front of the chest through our yin poses, it's also important to start to think about the space at the back as well. You don't need to do anything in this pose except just find your breath. And there's no particular way to breathe in our yin practice, just whichever way you feel most comfortable, whichever way you feel most release, and as settling into your body. Knowing that autumn is a time of letting go, of preparing for winter, a time for rest and containment. As the leaves fall from the trees, we're reminded we can't always be full, and that there is a time to let go of everything. The tree frees itself and returns to emptiness, ready to begin the cycle again. Nature sends us these instructions to let go of what is stale and no longer of service, and to turn inwards. Letting go of production and striving, and just focusing on resting. Okay. We're going to slowly make our way into our first yin pose. And there's a couple of options here. So you're going to just gently make your way over to your side. And then slowly take your time to come back up onto your hands and knees. Okay, so we're going to come into Anahata Asana, or melting heart pose. And you could, if you have your two blocks there, or two books that are about the same size, you'll have them on the flat setting. And you're going to bring your elbows, your forearms down to the blocks, and then let your heart melt. And that might be enough. If you don't have your blocks, use your pillow or your cushion or even a blanket. If you don't have those, you might just have your arms on the ground. That's okay. And then from there, we might bring the palms together, let the head drop, and bring your hands behind your head. If your hands are behind your head and you're in that prayer position, and even if your forearms are just resting on the block or the pillow, just make sure that your forehead is supported so that the forehead's either on the ground or there's something underneath there to bring the ground a bit closer. Okay, so your forehead might be resting on the pillow as well as the elbows. And we will stay here for 3 minutes. As always in our yin practice, if you need to move before then, please do. But if you can, just settle into the pose and really allow yourself to breathe deeply. Thing is, with the yin practice, it's not the same as restorative yoga. So we will feel some intensity as time goes on. As long as there's no pain and you can breathe into that space, see if you can stay with it and resist the urge to fidget or move. Allowing that focus on your breath to bring you back to now, when your mind starts to fall into stories of yesterday or tomorrow. Just under a minute left here. Stay and breathe. Okay, you'll slowly start to reach your palms forward. And just gently sway your hips side to side. And then we'll bring the hands back in onto the blocks or on the ground. Bring your toes together, your hips towards your heels, and then come all the way back into that child's pose. Let the hands either rest in front of you or they can reach back behind you now towards your feet. Again, if the forehead doesn't touch the ground, then just have a block or a blanket underneath, something so that your head can be supported. Okay, we're going to really slowly start to bring ourselves back up. Okay, and you're going to bring your hips over to one side so that you can come over to one side, and we'll set the mat up for our next position. So you'll need your pillow. Okay, we're going to have this first block on the middle shape, we'll step, and the second block on the first, or don't worry if you don't have the blocks, then you'll just have a blanket on top of your pillow, like that. So we've just got slightly higher up at the far end, slightly lower down at the bottom. Okay, so if you have your books, then you can use those. If not, don't worry. You can use all of them if you want to, pillow, blanket, and blocks. You just want to have something on a slight incline. And then we're going to have our backs to the pillow. You're either going to have your feet back behind you with the knees bent. And if that's too uncomfortable in your knees, or you're feeling any tension at all in your knees or your hips for this position, heels outside of the hips, then you can release your legs and just have the soles of your feet together, knees out wide. Okay? So either pose with the legs. You'll bring your hands behind you so that fingertips point towards the toes. We're going to make our way slowly down. And it's okay if you get to here with your palms on the ground and that feels like enough in your low back. You might just stay here. Okay, again, we're going to do 3 minutes from when we go into the fullness of the pose, whatever that is for you, whatever that means for you. So we'll slowly see if we can come down a little further, maybe to forearms, allowing the pillow to support you. And maybe you can drop the head all the way back. Shoulders relax, maybe palms come out and away, palms face up. Again, it's absolutely fine to stay up with your palms flat on the ground. And some of us actually might not even need the support of the pillow beneath us, but it's nice to have that extra support underneath you. Even if sometimes you practice this without, maybe for tonight, just give yourself that extra support. And then can you allow your attention or your awareness to just settle around your heart space? Can you just breathe into your heart space here? And this heart opening practice really important because we quite often find ourselves rounding in the opposite direction or holding ourselves in that way that kind of is almost protective. Whether we're protecting other people, hugging, holding, or whether we're sitting, working, driving. Maybe it's just protecting ourselves, drawing inwards. It's also important to allow this opening up and a connection to your heart to find that truth of what you really need for you right now. Not what everybody else is doing or what we think we should be doing, but what do we truly need to make us happy or to make us feel peace? Just last minute here, just breathing nice and deeply. Okay, we'll slowly, really gently start to push yourself up just onto forearms first, then up to palms, and then coming all the way up nice and slowly. Okay, if your heels are back towards the hips, you'll gently take your legs forward. And you'll keep your hands behind you to support you. And just let your knees drop from side to side, the windscreen wiper in your legs. And these pauses or places after we hold the poses are just as important as the actual pose. So just noticing how energy feels in your body as you come out of that holding. Okay. Next time you bring your knees up, you're going to heel toe your feet together. So your knees touch and your feet touch, and then you'll bring your knees all the way over to the side. You're going to change the setup now. So you're going to move your blocks or your books away and just have the pillow at the top of your mat, okay, or the blanket rolled up. Okay, we're going to lie on our side so that the pillow lifts up just where your bra strap is, or the middle of your top middle of your ribs, and you can always fold the pillow over too if you want more of a lift. See how that feels. You'll let your right ear rest on the right arm. You'll keep a bend in the knees, and it might feel enough just to stay there, or you might reach that left arm over the ear towards the right hand, or just rest it on the right arm. But try and relax the left arm once it gets over the head. And just 3 minutes on this side. Just starting to shine that light of awareness into all those places that you might not necessarily notice throughout your day. Those places that might get tight or hidden. So thinking physically, but also those spaces that might get hidden away when we're keeping busy, when we're doing everything else but be still. Can you be gentle and kind enough to yourself to give yourself space to acknowledge those things we might push down or hide away from? And just notice as you breathe in all those little spaces between the ribs opening up. And as you exhale, can you allow the right side of your body to just settle down towards the ground even more? Okay, really slowly and gently, we're going to start to move And you're just going to bring that left arm down, bend the left elbow. You're going to roll onto your back, staying on the pillow. You might need to adjust slightly on the blanket so that you feel more central. You're going to have that pillow or the blanket stay underneath where your bra strap would be. If you need to adjust slightly, have the elbows above the blanket or the pillow and your arms both bent at right angles. Your feet flat on the floor, knees bent. So you should have nice, gentle lift through the chest. If it feels too much, you can always release. Breathe deeply here. Let yourself be open. Okay, and then again, really slowly, gently with yourself, you'll just start to bring your knees over to the left, stacking your hips, your knees. Slide the left arm towards the top of the mat, keeping the pillow or the blanket underneath where your bra strap would be. And then right arm up and over towards the left. Okay, really slowly, you'll start to lift that top arm, bend the elbow, and then reach back behind you and start to come back onto your back, on the blanket or the pillow or the bolster, whatever you have there, with the elbows both bent above the pillow or the bolster. So you'll be lying down still, okay? Arms above the pillow or the bolster and cactus arms. Feet flat on the floor. Okay. We'll take your time. You're going to bring your left arm over to your right, so that you're coming over to your side, and then you're going to bring yourself all the way over onto your belly. And you're going to keep that pillow or the bolster at the top of the mat. And you're going to tuck the pillow or the bolster just behind your elbows. You're going to have your shoulders just above the elbows, so they're nice and stacked up underneath each other, palms straight out from there. Keep reaching the toes back, and instead of really pushing into your forearms, lifting the head up, I want you to soften so that you're looking down. You're softening your jaw. And we're just going to stay here for 2 minutes. I want you to see if you can find a release through the muscles in your face, your jaw. Relax the muscles in your legs. And again, find your attention just on the space at the back of your heart in this pose. See if you can allow that space to just feel open, as if energy can just move in and out, flow easily. Anything we're holding on to or that might feel stuck, just soften and start to let go. In this pose, you can often feel that tension really build up in your neck. See if you can just stay with your breath, resist the urge to move. Okay, let's really slowly start to move, and just move that pillow or blanket away to the side, move your prop away. Bring your forearms in front of you, rest your forehead on the arms, staying on your belly. Just a minute there, just breathing there for a minute. Again, really slowly take your time. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. And you're going to push yourself up onto your knees, all the way back to your child's pose once more. Okay, we're going to start to slowly make our way back up so we can come back into our last real strong heart opening pose. So if you've got your 2 blocks or 2 books that are the same size and they feel nice and sturdy, you're going to have one on the medium setting, so up to the medium if you've got blocks, and one on the flat. Okay, if you don't have blocks, then we'll just have a blanket rolled up into a sausage shape, and you'll take that down the middle of your mat. And if you don't have one of those, you can use your pillow again. If you're using your blocks, you're going to lower yourself down so that that first block that's on the middle setting is going to be just below where your bra strap would be. And then your head is going to come down onto the other block. So this is supported fish pose. Your arms come out beside you. If that feels too much, then come to the blanket version. So if you've got your blanket rolled up in the sausage shape, okay, you want to make sure your head is off the top of the blanket. So the head's resting on the ground, and down the centre of your spine, you lift it up. That won't be as intense. It'll be a slightly more gentle lift. And your legs can be anywhere that feels comfortable. So you might prefer to have feet flat on the floor, knees bent. You might have your legs extended out and away from you. You might have soles of the feet together, knees out wide, Baddha Konasana. If you are listening to the playlist, you might have heard that mantra, I am loving awareness. Have your attention rest on your heart space and repeat that mantra to yourself. Just one more minute here. Okay, I want you to really slowly, gently make your way over to the side and just move your props away, whatever you're using. And then allow yourself to lie back on the ground without anything there. Have your feet out a little wider than hip width, and then let your knees drop side to side. Nice and slowly. Bring your knees back up to center when you're ready. Just bring your knees all the way in towards you. And then hug your knees in towards your chest. And then we'll just slowly slide that right leg away from you and keep the left knee in. Use your right hand to draw the left knee across your body and over to the right. If you want to, you can have that pillow for the knee. Keep reaching the left hand back. Maybe looking in the direction of your left thumb or anywhere that feels comfy for your neck. And you might stay just here, that might feel like enough already. Or you might start to bend your bottom leg, then reach hand towards the foot. So you'll bend your right leg and reach your left hand towards your right foot. For your last minute here, just really focus on breathing deeply into the lungs. And in Chinese medicine, just as the lungs take in qi from the sky or energy, they also relate to our ability to take in, process, and filter out what is not needed. After every inhale, we must exhale. Okay, so on your next breath out, you'll release the foot from the hand if you've got those connected. Start to unwind slowly, and then bring yourself back up to center with the knees in towards your chest. And you might even lift the head up. So you're staying on your back, hugging your knees in towards your chest. You might even lift your head, your nose towards your knees. And slowly, gently lower shoulders and head down. And extend your left leg away from you now and just start to move into the other side. So you'll bring your right knee over across your body, maybe onto that pillow or blanket, or rest it on the ground. And again, you might choose to bring that bottom leg to bend and reach opposite hand to foot. If that feels too much, then just stay with that leg extended. And really focusing on breathing deeply into the lungs. The element associated with autumn time is metal. And the metal element within us gives us our sense of self-worth and self-esteem. Just as metal adds value to the earth, the metal within us is about recognizing our own worth. And if this element becomes unbalanced, then we're unlikely to see the gifts of our being and our own unique qualities. Okay, on your next breath out, you're going to slowly release the hand from the foot again and really gently, slowly make your way up to bring your knees in towards you. Stay lying on the ground. And just bring your knees in towards you. And again, you might feel like you want to bring your head up off the ground, your nose towards your knee. We're going to really slowly release shoulders, head down. Slide your legs away from you. You might well have your bolster or your pillow underneath your knees. Or you might have a blanket on top of you now. Get nice and cozy. That idea of the metal element and bringing our awareness into our heart space. So we've been doing lots of heart opening, lots of work with opening along the lung meridian line. And you allow your attention, without moving anything, just your mind, to focus on that space around your heart. See if you can imagine a little brightness or shininess or light around that heart space as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, see if it can glow just a little bit more. As you breathe in, the light grows a bit bigger. As you breathe out, it glows a little bit more. And seeing or feeling that light around your heart space, the front and the back of your heart. With that lightness, that bright energy, giving yourself the opportunity now to totally relax, to show yourself some love, compassion as you settle down into Shavasana. To bathe in this lightness that's yours, your energy. Be patient with yourself. You don't just overcome things overnight. You don't suddenly become okay. And you don't mature in moments. The reality is the process is messy. It's not linear. And sometimes it seems like you've taken more steps back than you've taken forward. At times it even seems as if you don't understand yourself. You don't know where you stand, where you're heading, who you're trying to become. It's not easy. Some days seem hard. Sometimes it seems impossible. At times it even seems better to give up than to try and pave the way for your own being. But the truth is, that's exactly the process, the path, the route to evolving. It's meant to be that way. There is no easy way through it or a simpler path to take. Be patient with yourself. You will overcome, mature, rise, and be more than just okay. Just learn to be patient with yourself. That's from Navisa. I want you to, without moving anything just yet, just again deepen your breath and really feel into space at the front of your heart as you inhale, and at the back of your heart as you exhale. Feel the breath move in and out, your energy flow easily. And then start to just sparkle your fingers and your toes. Sparkle your fingers and your toes. Reach arms all the way up over your head. Stretch your fingers away from your toes now, really lengthening everything out. Then you might even take a wiggle side to side just a little bit. And then you'll bring your knees in towards you and roll over to your right side. And just let everything round in there for a moment so your elbows and your knees head towards each other. Allow yourself to just feel everything. Be okay with that. Let's really slowly make your way up to a seat. And when you get there, you're just going to rub your palms together. Find that energy between your hands. And imagine those sparks of light and heat. And then place your hands over your heart. And just as you go into your week ahead, try to check in and stay connected to your heart, being patient with yourself. And to take each moment, each day as it comes. Okay, and then breathe in, reach the arms all the way up to the sky, open your eyes. And exhale and bring them down through center. Thank you, everybody. Namaste. I hope you have a lovely, lovely week.